This is the guide on how to submit your iFit full program proposal in Integro. This guide is intended for applicants from the Capital Investment Projects stream who will be submitting a full project proposal application through Integro. There is a template of the full application form available on the iFit website. We recommend that you use this template to complete the project information and to obtain the necessary approvals. However, you will enter all of this information through the portal. This session will time out within approximately 30 minutes of inactivity, so be sure to save sections upon completion to ensure that the application information process is not lost. We will begin by accessing your full project proposal form. Begin by clicking on My Applications in the left sidebar. Select the iFit program from the list of programs by clicking on the folder icon next to the wording Investments in Forest Industry Transformation. This takes you to the list of all completed submissions identified with a file number in the format iFit5 number. You can save your application and return at any time to edit. However, it cannot be edited once the application is submitted. Your successful EOI submission will be displayed with the form name iFit Expression of Interest and will have the status submitted. Under the same file number, you will have a new form, iFit CFP5 application form with status in progress. Click the pencil icon to edit the CFP5 application form. There are 11 sections to the application form. Section 1 is Application Form Overview. Section 2, Note to Applicants. Section 3, Executive Summary. Section 4, The Applicant Information. Section 5, Project Information. Section 6, Mandatory Criteria. Section 7, Rated Criteria. Section 8, The Expected Benefits. Section 9, Annex A, Statement of Work. Section 10, Annex B, Risks and Mitigation Measures. Section 11, Annex C, Attachments. Click on the first section to begin. Review the application form overview for further submission instructions. Again, we recommend downloading the full proposal form for an overview of the submission requirements and to work collaboratively and seek approvals within your team, but you are not required to submit that form. All information must be entered directly in Integro. Click Save and Next at the bottom to continue. Review the Notes to Applicants section, then click Save and Next to continue. For the executive summary, you will enter the required information: legal name of applicant, operating name if it differs from the legal name, project title, facility, city, province, latitude and longitude, and a brief description of the project innovation. Click Save and Next to continue. For the applicant information section, include the address of the company's head office, the company GST code, annual sales, website, number of full-time and part-time employees, the number of years the company has been in operation, identify if your company has received funding from NRCan within the last 5 years, and if yes, please identify the program from which you received the funding. Identify if your company has a workforce diversity and inclusion plan, selecting yes or no from the drop-down menu. If you answered yes to the diversity and inclusion plan question above, complete the section for the diversity and inclusion work plan attachment. Attach a copy of the workforce diversity and inclusion plan. You may also include any other documents pertaining to the company background. To add an attachment, you will click Add Attachment, select Choose File, and browse your drivers for the correct document. Select the document type as Proposal Supporting Document, enter the document name and description, and click Upload. The primary project contact will be filled automatically from the client profile, and you can add the project responsibilities and the preferred language selection. The secondary project contact can be completed as necessary. Note that any of these fields are not mandatory if there is no secondary contact. Click Save and Next to continue. Section 5 is the Project Information section. To begin, identify if you are applying to the Small or General Enterprise stream by choosing from the drop-down menu. Identify the total estimated project costs, the requested funding amount, include a description of how the cost estimates were established. For example, you may use pre-feasibility studies, vendor quotes, past project experience, etc. For the estimated total project cost section, you'll be asked to complete a table for the fiscal year breakdown of the anticipated spending budget. You will do this by clicking Add Row to add a new row. Select the source from the drop-down menu. The sources will be identified by the iFit program, the applicant, or other source of funding. Ideally, you should create 3 rows, one for each source of funding. However, if you do not have other funding, that is not necessary. Enter the estimated funding per fiscal year and click Save to add the row. For this section, please note that the government fiscal year runs from April 1st to March 31st. The IFIT program does not currently have any funding available past March 31st, 2023. Also note that the amounts you enter should be identical to the estimated project costs and IFIT requested amount entered above. The next section identifies the other sources of funding. To begin, click on Add, enter the name of the organization, the amount of funding requested from that source, and select Yes or No from the drop-down menu if the funding has been confirmed. Then click Save to add the row. Finally, identify when you expect to receive confirmation of any unsecured funding and how to expect to cover costs if the funding is not approved. Click Save and Next to continue. For the section on mandatory criteria, for each subsection, identify if you meet the criteria by selecting Yes or No from the drop-down menu. For eligible recipients, describe the company's line of business and describe your role if you are the leader in a cluster, joint venture, consortium, or etc. For the technology advancement, select the scale of your project from the drop-down menu, selecting either pilot or demonstration scale, commercial, or unsure, and describe the capacity of your proposed technology. Describe your company's activities related to the forest sector supply chain. And finally, identify if your project is primarily based on wood fiber. Click Save and Next to continue. For the section on rated criteria, you will complete the technical feasibility by completing all text boxes as required. You will then identify the project team members by clicking Add, enter the information requested for name, role, organization, and relevant experience, then click Save to complete the row. You may add as many team members as you need. You may also include team member CVs at the end of this section. For the section on innovation, complete the all text boxes as required. For project partnerships, complete the table by clicking Add, enter as much information as possible, but note that only the fields with the red asterisks are mandatory, and then click Save to complete the row. Add rows for each partnership. For the business plan, include a summary of your business plan in the text box. You must attach a detailed business plan at the end of the submission. For the fiber supply, identify if your project uses a waste stream of underutilized fiber supply. Please select Yes or No from the drop-down menu and complete the text box as required. Use the calendars to select your estimated start and end dates for the project. Indicate all documents you have available at the time of your application. Select the appropriate elements by moving them from the Available Options box to Selected Options box using the arrows provided. Include these documents in attachments at the end of this section. Then indicate all permits and approvals obtained to date or expected to obtain. To do so, click Add, complete the required fields for permit name, expected date to obtain, description, and issuing body. Then click Save and continue to add rows as necessary. For the rated criteria attachments, attach any of the above mentioned documents here. Then click Save and Next to continue. For Section 8, the expected benefits, complete all questions in the text boxes provided. Enter the number of new jobs and jobs maintained that are expected for the project, and then click Save and Next to continue. The next section is Annex A. Complete a table for your statement of work. To complete the table, click Add, complete mandatory information, and then click Save to complete the row. Add as many rows as you require. The program recommends no more than 5 major project tasks. Then click Save and Next to continue. For Annex B, Risks and Mitigation Measures, identify all project risks and mitigation measures. For each of the predetermined project risk categories, complete a table. Add risks associated to that particular project aspect. Click Add, identify the risk, provide a rating for the probability and impact by selecting either low, medium, or high from the drop-down menu, enter details of mitigation strategies, and then click Save to add the row. Click Save and Next to continue to the final section. In Annex C, Attachments, you can include any remaining attachments that you have not already included. Once all attachments are completed, please click Save and Next. Once the submission is completed, you will have the chance to review each section of the application. You can either leave the document as a draft and continue to edit until the deadline, or click Submit to submit the application. Please review the attestation and ensure that the attestation page from the form is completed and included as an attachment. Click Submit to finalize the submission. Congratulations! You've submitted your final project proposal to the IFIT program.